Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well and you had a great weekend and you're ready to learn some more grammar this week. I know you've been looking forward to it all weekend because you miss me and you miss grammar. So what I'm going to do today is kind of give you a short little lesson and we're going to walk through the PowerPoint together. So you can either look and follow the video PowerPoint, or you can go to the resources box and actually get a link to the PowerPoint if you need to go through it slower. And you can also watch the video as much as you want. And I also have my office hours for you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip my screen really fast, so bear with me, and we are going to look at the PowerPoint together. So here is the PowerPoint, and I'm going to put it into present mode. So what we're going to be talking about today is 10.3, quotation marks and italics, and the different ways in which we're supposed to use these in grammar. So if we're looking at quotation marks, there are three main rules that I want us to focus on in 6th grade. So quotation marks are used for direct quotations. This is where you pull information from another source when you're putting it into an essay or a paper. So for example, if you look here, on page 36, Arthur Miller stated, "Living is more than merely breathing," right? I'm pulling that from something else. So because it's not my words, I have to put quotations around it because Arthur Miller is actually the one who said it, not me. So that's the way that we use direct quotations. You'll notice here that whatever we do here, Arthur Miller stated, is going to be followed by a comma. And then after that, you have your quotation marks because this is what someone actually physically said or wrote that we are restating. You also see quotation marks as they're used in dialogue, written in narratives or stories or fiction. Anything that we read where it has dialogue, you'll also see quotation marks. So again, it's what someone said, right? Maria yelled, "How many chickens are in the backyard?" Okay, so that's pulled from something else. This is what she's actually saying, so we have to use quotation marks. Another way, and probably the most confusing way in which you're going to see quotation marks used, is if it is something that is from a larger work. So, for example, you would put quotation marks around article titles in a magazine, or essay titles, or chapter titles, or poems, or web pages, or short stories, or songs, and different speeches. So you would do these if they're a smaller section of something that's larger. You're going to use quotation marks around those. So let's look at some examples. So Corey asked, "Where are the cookies?" Again, we've got the dialogue, we've got the speaking, okay? Another example from the one that's a little bit more confusing with the smaller sections. My favorite chapter in the book was chapter 15, Land Before Time. So if you look, you'll see that Land Before Time is in quotation marks because that's the name of chapter 15. Now, if we were to say my favorite chapter in the novel, The Giver, right? The Giver would be in italics, but the chapter would stay in quotation marks because the chapter is part of the book. So the smaller one has quotation marks. That's the way that I remember it, right? The smaller one has quotation marks. So another example. Martin Luther King's speech, "I Have a Dream," is famous for many reasons. The name of his speech was "I Have a Dream." So it's in quotation marks here. Okay, same thing with songs. One of my favorite songs is called "Vienna" by Billy Joel. The name of the song is in quotation marks. Now, if I were to say the name of his album, right? An album is something that contains a lot of songs. The name of the album would be in italics, not quotation marks. But the name of the song is smaller, right? It's the smaller thing, so it's in quotation marks. Okay, so let's look at some italics. So italics we use for the big things, right? The name of the book, the name of the magazine, the name of the entire newspaper, not just an article, but the entire newspaper. Movies, TV series, music albums, right? Works of art, and for names of different ships, like and aircrafts. Those will all be in italics because they're big, right? They're big things. So for examples on books, Anne of Green Gables, The Chronicles of Narnia, the Bible, right? These are books that we've heard of, that we know of, and they're always in italics. Different names of magazines, Time Magazine, National Geographic, Highlights, Home and Garden, right? These are different names of magazines, and they're in italics. Different newspapers, the New York Times, the Boston Chronicler, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, they're in italics because it's the name of the entire newspaper, the big idea. Different movies, The Avengers, The Sound of Music, Frozen, right? They're the name of the entire movie, so they have to be in italics. Different TV series, Friends, Everybody Loves Raymond, Cheers, Glee. Now, if I'm talking about an episode, that would be in quotation marks because it's part of the series, but the series itself is going to be in italics. Different music albums, right? Those would be in italics. Works of art, Starry Night, right? The Mona Lisa, right? The Scream. Those are the names of the whole works of art, so it's in italics. Different names of ships and aircrafts. So the Arizona, right? The Titanic, we know about the Titanic. And B-52 airliner, right? Those are specific names of big things. So they're in italics. Let's look at some example sentences of italics. So here's some examples. If I'm talking about a movie, my favorite movie is Big Fish. It's in italics. It's the name of the full movie. Naval ship. All right. The Arizona is a famous naval ship from World War II. It's the one that was in Pearl Harbor that got sunk. So Arizona, right, the name of the ship is in italics. So if we're talking about a newspaper, many people consider the New York Times a reliable media source, right? The New York Times is the name of the newspaper, so it's in italics. It's a big thing is in italics. So smaller part of something, quotation marks. Big idea, full story, italics. And that's the easiest way to remember that. And if you can keep that little trick in your mind, it helps you a lot. Okay, so that's all we're really doing for today. Okay, again, I'm trying to break it into really easy to digest small chunks for you because I know that grammar is not easy, especially learning it kind of on your own with just a little bit of help from me at my home. And since we can't be together, I'm trying to make it really short and really compact so that we can make it understandable for you. So that's it. You're going to have a practice page, and that is going to be due by Wednesday. So please do that. It'll be through Paladin Portal directly. So please make sure that you're submitting it through Paladin Portal before Wednesday, okay, of this week. Other updates, Teddy's doing a lot better, which is really good. Now he has a lot more energy, so it gets a little scary because we have to keep him calm for about 2 weeks. He's still in the danger zone. So if you guys can just keep on praying, they're working. He's doing really good and he's feeling a lot better. Now we just got to try and keep him calm, right? Because he's kind of got some puppy energy that we're having to control. He's sleeping on the couch behind me right now. It's past his bedtime. So he's doing good. That's great. Thank you guys. You're awesome. I miss you. And I hope to see you soon. Okay. Bye, guys.